Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and today I'm just going to do another very small video touching back on Dragon Age Inquisition, which I've already explained. If you've watched any of the previous videos I've done, I've been playing again after a long time because I kind of decided I wanted to finish it with all the DLCs, and I've realised I liked it a lot of the time, and I've realised how much I still like it, and how it still holds up, even graphically to a point, but certainly story-wise and content-wise to any game you can find nowadays. And I'm sure it will to the new Dragon Age as well, from what I've seen of that. But anyway, that's another story. What I wanted to say today is I've been going through one of the main story missions called What Pride Has Wrought, which you can see up on the right. I've done most of it. It's quite a lot of puzzles in this. It's quite difficult actually to work out the puzzles. There's a bit of fighting, but more puzzles. And again, another thing that I wanted to comment on about this game, which is a really good aspect of the game. In the last video that I did on Dragon Age, I was playing a mission called Here Lies the Abyss, I think it's called, and I was in the Fade, which is like the other side. And at the end of that mission, I won't spoil it for anybody, but you have to sacrifice somebody, one of the characters that's with you. You can pick, but it's a big choice, and you have to sacrifice somebody, and somebody you've been on the mission with, who you've been around with before in the game, and it's quite a big choice. And I think that's one of the things about this game that stands out, is how there is really important choices all the time. Often that would alienate a whole faction. I remember I did a choice earlier, and I think I had to decide to send away the Grey Wardens or not, because they cause some problems with what we're fighting, and it's a big choice because they're gone if you do, and there's many choices like that in this game. And I thought that's really cool. It's really great. I mean, I know that BioWare, who made this, obviously made Mass Effect as well, and that's also known for choices. I played through the whole of Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and that's an amazing game with choices. And this game is equally as good as that, I would say, with choices, and some of the characters and the story and the depth of the story. And you really don't know kind of what's coming next, and you can't be sure when you go on a mission how it's going to end up. You meet new characters, you can't be sure if they're going to be good or bad. You can't be sure if you're going to have to make choices that are going to affect the future of the story, whether or not you're going to end up having to have someone killed, or whether someone can be killed, or someone might turn on you. And it's hard. There's a whole mission when you go to, I can't remember what the mission's called now, but you go to this palace to go to a big fancy ball in this palace where the Empress of Orlais is, and you have to go through this whole mission trying to find out what's going on with some big conspiracy. The actual mission itself is really great, because one of the great things about this game, even against Mass Effect is that it has a good variety of missions. Like I said, there's a mission when you're in the Fade and you're going through this kind of underworld thing. There's a mission where you're going to Orlais to the ball, and you have to kind of almost do a detective role to find out what's going on, why are these things happening, who's plotting, and there's quite a lot of different people involved. You find out one thing, but it leads to something else. Everyone isn't innocent at all, and you have to kind of work out who to support and who not to. And that part's just different as well, because it's a whole different kind of mission to the missions you usually get in games. And then you do have to make choices, and you have to make choices that mean someone can be exiled or killed, even more than one person, and it affects your relationship with obviously the people that are killed or exiled, and with the ruler of Orlais, or who the ruler ends up being. In fact, you can decide in that mission virtually who you're going to end up putting on the throne of Orlais. So yeah, it's a game full of really big choices. You never know from how a mission starts whether there's going to be a choice like that in it. There's lots of missions where there are lots of choices. I came to this one particularly because I know that, because I played this game quite a lot, and I played through it quite a lot. Not to the end, like I said, but through most of it. And I know there's going to be choices when I go through here. And it just reminded me of how many choices there are, how many things can happen. It's one of those games where you could play through it, and I have played through it, not to the end, but I played through the multiple parts of it many times, and each time, because of different choices I made along the route, it's panned out differently, completely, and I think that's great. I mean, it's a game that would have huge replayability anyway, because it's really good. There's loads of content. It's a massive open world, as I said before. There's loads of things to do. Side missions are really good. If anything, there's sometimes a bit too many of them, but there's loads and loads of different types of side missions. There's loads of character missions, there's loads of main character missions, there's loads of story missions. So you could do this over and over again anyway, but each time you do it, there will be new choices you make, and different choices will stack up and work out in a different way. So yeah, like I said, it's a game that each time I go through it again, which I am doing, and I get to different parts, I think, wow, that's really amazing. There are lots of games I play, and I like games with choices. But again, this game, I like Cyberpunk, which I mention often. I like Witcher, Wild Hunt, which I mention. But they're more recent games, so this is a 10-year-old game. And so, this harks back to before those times with all the choices and the open world, and I think it's a great game. I know BioWare obviously made this and Mass Effect, and I like both games. And obviously Mass Effect is an open world game the same way this is. It's kind of linear missions, but some parts you can go around. But they're both great. The characters in Mass Effect are great, the characters in this are great, the story's great. I can't pick one or the other that I think is better, because they're very different. Obviously one's in space, one's in a fantasy world, but I certainly would say this is equal. I'd have to, on one day, on a particular day in a mood, I'd like this one better than Mass Effect. If I wanted a space game, I'd like Mass Effect. If I wanted a game where I could literally go anywhere and do anything in any order, I'd like this. In Mass Effect, there's things I like about that, but they're both equally good in my mind, and they stack up as two of the best games, this and Mass Effect, that I think have ever been made of this genre, or any genre. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. For me, take care for now.